Hi, welcome to the Shelly Studio. It's that time again. I made it to February for the monthly art prompt challenge that I decided to do this year. So I've picked some colors. I just used the spinning wheel and let it pick randomly. So we have midnight blue, jungle green, and apricot. I've got 9 prompts, and then the words for inspiration were glasses, insight, and revive. And I'm using the magazine that I used last month, and that video will be down in the description box in case you're interested. I'm actually going to create a playlist, so there'll be a playlist below if you haven't seen it. The prompt list is on my community page, so that you can just take it from there. I'll also have it on my Facebook page and my Instagram. So any of those places, if it's easier for you to, I don't know, print screen or save the picture, that's how I do it. Anyway, so it'll be available if you want to give this a try. So the first prompt, sorry, I covered the magazine with gessos to cover up the words. And the first prompt was add circles. So I did the circles with I think it was a blue Posca, just because that went with the midnight blue. And then the second prompt was scribble with ink. Markers contain ink in my mind. So I scribbled with just a black marker. It wasn't even a Sharpie. It was like a Mark-Sol or something like that. Really old marker that I had laying around here that I've used randomly. And it's pretty permanent, so it works well. And I decided to add some of the colors, so I'm painting with what I found the closest. Now, I just picked paints that I already had that are the closest to what was randomly picked for us. So I believe in using what you have. Don't go buy colors to match. Just come up with your closest. And mine is a little bit more green. The jungle green has a little bit of a blue. Well, at least the printout that I have tends a little to the blue. But I don't think it matters. And the midnight blue, I actually pulled out a tube. It's an old tube of paint, so it's not going on very smoothly. But I really like the color, and it's indithyronine. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly. But that's the color I'm using as my midnight blue. And plus just the blue Posca, or maybe that was a Sharpie, one of the Sharpie creative markers. I'm not sure which one I was using at the time. But so just getting close. Don't let not having the exact color stop you from playing along, because it's really fun. And if you do play along, if you're over on Instagram, you can tag me. I have my Instagram links down below, and my Facebook and everything's down below, but you can tag me so I can see what you create. I'd love to see, if you're participating, I'd love to see what you create. If you don't have Instagram, I'm over on Facebook or here on the YouTube. And you can leave me a comment in the community or on this video and tell me where I can find what you've created, because I'd like to see it if you join me in this challenge. I'm just doing this challenge once a month, so you have the whole month to attempt it if you want to. Yeah, anyway, it's just fun. It's just a fun thing to try, and a little entertainment. All right, so I did a bad job of painting that blue, and I'm trying to clean my circle. The baby wipe kind of smearing things. There we go. It's a little better. All right. So I decided, sorry, my camera is suspended above me, but I have to touch it to turn it on and off, and I get going before it stopped shaking. So that's why you see it shake every once in a while, and I apologize for that. I decided my green was too green or something. I wanted it a little bit lighter, so I added a little bit of white to it and just painting over. That makes it more opaque, so it's covering up my scribble marks. That's okay. We'll fix that. This page actually ends up being so busy, but and wacky, in my opinion. I feel like with the first two, they've really, the first one was really busy too. So I don't know. I mean, I don't usually have so much going on my pages, but yeah, it can be different. So I'm bringing the scribble back in onto that side just because I'd covered it up. Oh, and I went over some areas when I was painting, so I thought I'd redo my lines a little bit. I don't know that it helped much. You know, I like to rotate my projects when I'm working on them, you know, just whatever's easiest for my hand, the motion for my hand. And this circle right here is an awkward curve for me. But I didn't want to rotate. My book is a little big, so it's not easy to rotate under the camera. So, but yeah, I was just trying to smooth out that messy area. It works okay. Not exactly a round circle anymore, but we're okay with that. All right, so there's a prompt that's add a tag, label, or envelope. I'm going to save that one to last. And then the next prompt is make marks with a found object. So I had that cardboard. I was thinking about doing that. And then I have these Q-tips that are all tied together with a rubber band. So I decided just to use my apricot color and add some of that into the foreground since I haven't added that color yet. That's what I did, just, you know, adding the little messy marks. The next prompt was to add fabric, and I had that piece of fabric with all those mushrooms on it and decided I would just cut out the mushrooms and just stick them down along the bottom of my page. Not that they go with what's going on, but they're fun. I really like that fabric. I made my sister a book. I don't know if I have a video of that or not. If I do, I'll link it. But I made her a book and used that fabric as the cover because we were really into mushrooms at the time. It was like 2 years ago, I think. I'm just gluing those on with some glitter glue. And then, the next prompt is paint with a pipette or a stick. So I decided I would put another face on here. So I'm drawing it with some acrylic ink and a pipette. Of course, I have to make it hard for myself, right? Since I am not really a good face drawer. And then I'm doing it with a pipette. Well, I'll leave the interior of the face. We'll just do the head and the hair and the neck, right? I'll do the interior of the face with something a little bit easier than a pipette. I get a little carried away with this because there's actually a lot of fluid in that pipette, and I add some brown to the hair, just to fill in the hair. And gravity is kind of bringing the paint down, and it gets down around her face. It starts to get, it just about runs across the page. You'll see. As I'm going along. See it's going. I'm like, get back up there, get back up there. I blot it here with a paper towel in a second. And I blot a little bit out of the hair too, because, yeah, got a little too much on there, I think. All right, so it's a little dry, and I just grabbed some, what I'm calling skin tone. I thought I had used the apricot and added a little white, but it doesn't look like it. I think maybe this was parchment. I'm not positive which color I grabbed to do the face with. And the paint is not exactly dry, so it's smudging in a few places. Like right there. And I'm just wiping off the brush onto the magazine to the side of me. I figured I wouldn't worry about it because it's going to be covered up with the prompt list anyway, so it'll be fine. And then part of that circle you can kind of see on her forehead, but we're just not going to worry about it. This is just for fun. And her neck's a little crooked. Maybe her head's tilted. I don't know. Pardon my cough. I'm still getting over a cold. All right, the next prompt is to draw dashes and lines. So I just pulled out the green Posca and figured I would fill in the circle that we made earlier. I'm doing it, but I'm not feeling real happy about it. Like, I feel rusty. So I grabbed just a peach colored one, and I'm adding some lines with it as well. Oh, and I decided to add more on top of that blue. I wasn't happy with how uneven the paint was in the blue, so I'm adding marks, hoping that will distract from it. This is going to be a really busy page. The next prompt is add a flower. So I decided, since I really didn't like the lines and dashes that were happening, that I would just put the flower right inside that circle. Haven't asked, how's everyone today? I hope you're doing well. I'm doing better than I have been for the last week and a half it's been now. Oh man, I was so sick. Took several days off work. I spent 4 days in bed. But on the mend. Doing better now. So, I know it kind of covers up the dashes, but you can still kind of see them. And I did them, and that's all that matters, right? You did them. Whether or not they're still visible is another story. And lots of layers, I think, makes things interesting. I do that. This is the Pitt Artist Brush Pen in gray. do that a couple of times just to really help that flower stand out. I do have this bed way up. I hope that's not too bad. It would have been a really long video otherwise. I was trying to figure out what to do with the white behind her head. I added the yellow, like a halo, I guess. But I dried it with the heat tool and it just faded right away. I didn't wipe it off or anything. It just disappeared. So I'm taking that gray pen again and drawing a face for our girl. Never claimed to be an expert in the face category. I gave her some really wide eyes. I'll have to, like, I know I've practiced faces before. I can do a halfway decent face. This was just not it. Giving her some eyebrows. A few freckles. Why not? I just take a little bit of pencil and do some shading around her eyeballs to make them look round. And then it's just a really fine liner. Outline a few things. I think I go around her lips too, yeah. She's looking kind of crazy. The words, I don't know if I told you, the words for inspiration were glasses, insight, and revive. So I took those 3 words, I put them in Google, and then wrote the word quote and to come up with something. So that's where I got my quote from. And yeah, I'll add that tag at the end with a quote on it. All right, so the last prompt is use something from recycling. So I'm using that carton and I'm trying to make her a pair of glasses. They are way too far apart. I'll figure that out soon. Well, after I cut them out, actually. I cut out around it here, and then I get a mat out and cut the center of her glasses out with an X-Acto. Trying to get them even, but they're not. That's okay. I do ink around them so that you can't see the cardboard. But, yeah, you can see there I was like, yeah, they're too far apart. See how I'm looking at them going way too far apart. So I cut the bridge and put them a little closer together. add the glue black, I think. Sorry, I'm kind of off screen, working off to the side there. I'm just cutting off little pieces so that it looks like one piece. Put the glue back on. They're a little closer together. That's a little bit better. Still looks a little cross-eyed. All right, so the last thing is the tag. And the quote I found was, "Sometimes all you need is a new perspective." Plus, I've got the glasses that fits the word for inspiration. I think that works. I'm going to add a little ribbon to the tag. Oh, I kind of blended the two words together, so I put a little gap there. Just put a little paint in there and move the N over a little bit. So, what do you think? I'll have a picture here at the end. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope I wasn't too boring. No, it's kind of hard talking when I want to cough instead. But I hope you liked this. If you did, would you please leave me a thumbs up or a comment? I'd love to hear your comments. Join me in the challenge. It's a lot of fun. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have an awesome day.